Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, which of my viewers watching this remembers when I demonstrated the soundtrack preset? Yes, my favourite preset of all time on the original ROLAND D50 from 1987. Well, if you do remember, thank you ever so much. You've been here on the channel with me for about 7 years. That's pretty amazing. So I played that preset on my famous Sounds of the D50 video, and as I was demonstrating it, manipulating the pitch stick and playing some amazing chords, well, the chords weren't amazing, the sound was amazing. Actually, you don't have to play very much with that preset because it's basically like a built up of a chord. There's a interval of a fifth as you play the note. The fifth sort of fades in really beautifully. So you can play some very simple stuff and get some amazing sounds from it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I got so wrapped up into that sound that I actually started crying. Tears were rolling down my face. I don't know if it was just because the sound was so fantastic, that particular preset that was programmed, I think, by Eric Pershing, but it was probably a combination of the sound, plus maybe I was feeling a bit melancholy, I have no idea, I don't remember, or maybe I was just caught up in the emotions of playing one of my hero synths for the very first time after about 30 years. You see, when the D50 was released back in 1987, I was just a snotty-nosed teenager, a bit of a yob. I didn't have the funds to buy such an expensive and professional synthesizer. But anyway, 30 years later, I picked one up for about 300 bucks and demonstrate it here on the channel. And that was a special moment for me, and it brought me to tears. Before we begin, I'd just like to show you around the keyboard a bit because I want you to admire the restoration job I did on this keyboard. So yeah, I was very fortunate. Remember when I picked this thing up, there was all sorts of Velcro pads stuck to it, and we had lots of gunk here between all the buttons and stuff. It was pretty gross, guys. But look, we have a lovely bright LED, or LCD, I suppose that is, a backlit LCD. All of the buttons are working. A couple of them are a little bit sluggish to respond, but they do respond. So we have a pretty nice working D50 here. Joystick is good, not snapped off or anything, which could happen to some of these, I suppose, because it looks a bit vulnerable. And everything is working perfectly. The keyboard plays fantastically. Aftertouch is working as it should. So say, this thing, guys, I don't know if you can see, but as we walk around here, you can just see in the light there, this thing is totally mint. There isn't a scratch on this instrument, not a scratch on this 30-year-old D50. I feel so lucky to get myself such a nice example, but my goodness, it was a relief to get those Velcro sticky pad things off without damaging the surface. This thing is pristine. Okay, let's get back to the demo. Now we have this ROLAND Boutique, which is an emulation, a very faithful emulation, I believe, of the D50. But does it have the magic of the D50 that brought me to tears 7 years ago? So let's do an experiment. Obviously, if I'm just going to play the preset again, I probably won't cry or anything like that because I know what's coming, but I'm going to play this for you. I'll listen to my original video and play something very, very similar. I'll manipulate the joystick in the same way because by moving this around, you get really sort of interesting variations of the sound with different timbralities. Is that a word? Different tones. I'm talking a bit pompously here. Anyway, by playing really simple stuff and moving the joystick here, I was able to get some fantastic sounds that really did affect me emotionally. So let's play the same thing here on the D-05, and then I'll play you my original recording from 7 years ago, and I'll let you be the judge if it sounds as magical, if it has that secret sauce. This is as good sounding as the D50. As I'm doing this introduction, I haven't recorded my performance with this, so I don't know what the outcome will be myself, so we'll just have to have a nice chat in the comments. So I'll sign off now, but don't click away, but I'd just like to ask you to consider subscribing if you haven't already done so, and thank you so much if you already have. It really does mean a lot to me. And I'll see you again next time. Cheerio. Okay, here come the back-to-back demos. just occur to me, maybe it's me that doesn't have the magic anymore. Anyway, here's the original. Oh, whoa, man, that preset chokes me up. I've got tears in my eyes, honestly, I have. That is unbelievable. Let me know in the comments what that one's called. Should we take a quick listen how they've built that sound up? Again, this is one of the Eric Pershing presets. Oh my God. That is heavenly. Oh man, just a second. Let me pull myself together and we'll press on.